the truth will come out, but it's just a matter of when it is going to happen. And that people just couldn't fathom the fact that, you know, that things can be trumped up on you like that.
The Project for the Innocent investigates cases in which we think that an inmate in California State Prison was wrongfully convicted, was innocent, or had a very unfair trial. And in those cases where we feel like that's the case, we will actually investigate and work toward trying to get those people's convictions overturned and get them freed from prison.
This was a very famous case. A book had been written about this case called The Killing Season. It was the first investigation for the first black woman detective on the LAPD robbery homicide squad. She wanted this to be the perfect case. And then there was a reporter by the name of Miles Corwin who was covering the case. And he wrote a bestseller book about the case. So he didn't want to be proved wrong either. And the jury, I think they probably thought they were doing the right thing. And the prosecutor did the case. So when I looked at this case, I said, oh no, he may actually be innocent, and we have a really hard fight ahead of us. I realize that there's an amazing amount of responsibility on all of us. That if I make a mistake, it's not just like, you know, bad day for me at work. It means that somebody might end up spending the rest of their life in prison.
My role was to find new evidence that would get him relief from doing life in prison, because he was doing what we call LWOP, which is life without the possibility of parole. So he would have died in prison. So my job was to right that wrong that had been done to him. That meant finding new evidence, finding people that were not involved in his case at the trial level, interviewing them, talking to the district attorney, their office, going through their files, things like that. Anything that would be new, because that's the only way that we could turn this wrong around.
We went and did all of the measurements ourselves. The information that we knew beforehand was the degree at which the bullet entered the body, based on the fact that it went in here and came out there, and you can measure that in an autopsy. And we knew where on the body, so how high above the ground. And those were the only numbers that we knew, and then the rest we went to the site. We measured from a window in the building, we measured from the roof of the building. I got to use these really cool tools where you like walk with it. It's kind of like a chalk line drawer, except instead of drawing anything, it measures the distance that you're walking. Did that from the base of the building, from the corner, from around the corner. So a bunch of different angles, distances. A lot of the numbers we didn't actually end up using, but basically I just took the ones that you would think you need to know to make a triangle. So think of triangles, and that's what we went to the site and measured.
I was excited about when I met them, because it was like, for me, it was like, this was help, you know what I mean? And so it's almost like being a drowning victim in the middle of the water, and the rescue diver dives in. So when you see them, it's like, man, relief, help, save you, some saving is coming.
I really was made to feel like an integral part of this team that was so much broader than what I was doing, but that definitely contributed to the sense of responsibility and accountability that I felt I had, and I'm sure everyone else felt they had. But it was a real collaboration and a real kind, I know that sounds really lame, but it was a super kind environment. Everyone was fostering great work on this, thank you for doing this research. I mean, there's so many law students who would just throw out these briefs that they needed to present in like 10 minutes, and it was always an unbelievable job. This law student contributed so much. I mean, small people were members of this giant team, but it felt like a community. I mean, when he walked out, we were all there.
I'm the luckiest person I know from law school, basically, because I really have the best job of anybody.
Each person matters. There are no disposable people. There are no expendable people. We have such a big criminal justice system with millions, 2.7 million people in prison. You almost stop thinking about the individual. What this case taught me and taught my students, every person